Okay, at this time we'll call the Scott County Board of Education meeting to order. And do we have anything from the principals? Of course, we had our work session and we had our principals in. Does any principal have anything they want to bring to the board?
Hi, Miss Esther. It's Miss Rector. I just want to give you an update on graduation. I know that's on everybody's mind.
Yes.
We are still working diligently to that. Looked at a weather report today, and if things hold as they look right now, it looks like we're going to have beautiful weather on that Friday that we have scheduled, and we hope that that works out. So that we can do that one outdoor ceremony. Again, we are still working through those details and getting feedback from parents and people, and we're trying to make some adjustments to honor as many requests as we can in the most consistent way that we can. So again, there may be a few new things that come out here in the next couple of days, but they're all good things, and hopefully we'll give people some more options and freedoms to be able to experience that graduation ceremony in the way that fits them the best. So again, we're trying to work through those, but we're planning and things are going well with that. One last thing that I do want to say is I do want to offer a public thank you to Tenier Industries. We contacted them a few weeks ago when we knew it was going to be pertinent for our seniors to have masks on, and asked them if there was any way they could help us out with that. And they delivered to us at the end of last week 225 school colored masks that have been very nicely done and have some really nice trim on those. And so I just want to say a very public thank you to Tenier Industries. We knew there was no way that we could get that many together, and we had having that local business get together and do that for our graduates. We really appreciate that. So we look forward to showing those off on graduation day. But thank you to Tenier Industries.
Okay, thank you. Is there any other principal needs to bring anything to the board?
And that's all that I have.
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry. Okay, with that, Mr. Howell, you'll be next.
Thank you. Just to reiterate what Ms. Rector said about graduation, I know that she's worked countless hours in preparing and trying to, I don't think there's ever going to be a plan that will please all or be right for everyone, but I know she is making the best that she can, working with the CDC and the health department, doing everything we can to make sure everyone is safe and to make sure everyone gets a chance to enjoy the graduation. Big thank you to Mr. Bond and his group that will be trying to, with the live streaming and stuff with the graduation as we move forward. And guys, this will be a new undertaking for all. So there's a lot of things that is being planned and working on, and hopefully this will be successful. I do want to announce that I did have a phone conference with the East Core directors on this past Monday. We had all 22 directors were available on that conference call, and also with the East Core office was also on the call with us too. Of course, some of the questions that was brought up at that, of course, was the different graduations that each district is having, and each one's doing something a little different. But I really like what we have done as far as what Ms. Rector's plans are. Also, the other big topic was the reopening of our athletic facilities. I do know that right now, after meeting with Mr. Henry, Mr. Cash, who's representing the middle schools, tentative plan is right now to reopen our athletic facilities for the high school on June 1. And that will be on like a limited basis on the number of kids. And we will also abide by the rules that are in place by the CDC and the health department at that time. The plan at this time is to wait till after the dead period for the middle schools. But again, we will be revisiting that in a couple of weeks to kind of see where we are and see how this goes with the high school, and then look at that perspective also again too. Again, some of our districts are opening. I know that Maryville is opening up next Tuesday for their athletic facilities, and Alcoa is opening up next Monday. Now, some of the things they have in place, and I did talk with Mr. Beatty, is possibly of us doing a waiver. These kids will come in on a voluntary basis only. There'll be no requirements to have someone to come in to lift weights or to do conditioning drills for either basketball or soccer. As we move forward, we may look at even getting with the school nurses and getting some thermometers with Mr. Shoemaker about taking temperatures of everyone that's there also too. That includes coaches and all players that are there on that day. So anyone that has a temperature of 100.4, or above cannot participate, must go home. So those are the things we're looking at. Again, like I said, I know that we'll be getting with Mr. Beatty on a waiver form if need be. We'll also still be working close with the health department during this process, and with Ms. Rector, Ms. Henryton High School, and with all the principals. Mr. Cash is the spokesman there for the middle school, so we'll be working closely with him. It's exciting, but it's also, opening up in a new perspective. Let me also say with physicals, right now, I know Mr. Shoemaker's been working extremely hard with the Mountain People's Clinics, who for years has provided those physicals for us. And I may have Mr. Shoemaker speak here in just a minute, but I know right now I think possibly looking that we may just have to each person schedule their own. Am I speaking correct there, Mr. Shoemaker, or is there still some more plans on the table?
We have talked with Mountain Peoples and with the Tennessee Department of Health. We have been cleared for a couple options later on in July, but Mountain People says they think that's very, very not possible to happen as the way things are right now. So we are kind of waiting till about the 1st of June to see if there are any different guidelines or anything else that may change between now and then. And then we're going to go from there. And we may set something up in end of July. But as of right now, we're just putting everything on a hold until we see what's going on further.
Good. Thank you, Brent. Would also like to know if anyone got to see, look at our social media page. I do know we had that Smokey come to some of our schools to help hand out some meals the other day, and that was very exciting. Want to thank those schools that had them there. Also thank Teresa Boshiers for kind of setting that up, and it was a tremendous day. I know that as far as the number of meals, I think Ms. Paulette, if you could kind of tell us the number of meals that we served out this past Wednesday, and where we are from a total as far as on the serving of the meals.
Unmute yourself, Paulette.
I can't get used to doing that. We served 17,030 meals this past Wednesday. It was a little dreary and rainy and cool, and they slacked off, I think, a little bit, but we're close within a few meals. I don't have the exact number here at home with me, but we just like a few meals hitting 130,000 so far.
Wow.
That's awesome. All right. Well, thank you, Ms. Paulette.
And I would just like to go ahead and say that we will be distributing again next Wednesday, the same time from 11 to 12:30.
Yes. All right. Thank you very much. And please thank everyone again for what they're doing. Also, in the meeting with our directors as we were going forward, of course, another key topic was plans for the starting of next year. Right now, looks like it's being left up to each individual district. Some districts are working on plans of staggering their schedules as far as number of kids one day, half the next. For example, Sevier County had a plan for half on a Monday, half on a Tuesday, half on Wednesday, half on Thursday, and then a virtual day on Friday. Now that's just, let's say, tentative plans that people are working on. Right now, once this year is over, we'll really start digging into plans to see what we can do and how much it's opened up and what we're allowed. Me personally, I hope we can start back with everyone. I mean, that's the goal, that's the plan, but we're going to have to prepare, next few days about if we can't. So I know that Paulette's hearing some stuff with the food service on those lines also too. So here in the next few days, like I said, we will start making plans for some type of alternate opening at that point in time. And most of y'all know we did have Coach Jackson Sharp did resign his basketball position on Friday of last week. We want to thank Coach Sharp for 13 years of service that he gave to our Lady Highlanders. He also served in probably 12 years in that capacity as an assistant football coach with Scott High School. Coach Sharp is a Highlander. He'll always be a Highlander. And he loves Scott High School. And it was a tough decision for all. But, right now, moving forward, I know it's going to be an exciting time as we move forward with this process to get a new coach in place. But again, a big thank you to Coach Sharp and the years he gave. Personally, I had two kids that played for Coach Sharp, a daughter and a son. And I can say he treated them as like a young lady and a young gentleman. And that's goes a long way when your kids know that he treated you that way. It says a lot for the man himself. So again, a big thank you to Coach Sharp. I know at our work session or the other day when we met, the board had requested me to look into some signs for all of our seniors. And I'm sure a lot of parents have already gone out and bought signs for those seniors. But we're able to purchase some signs for everyone. They may be in tomorrow or Monday. I guess the thing is that if they come in is getting a phone call out, tell them where to come pick the sign up at. We may put it at Scott High. I don't know right now. I'll get Miss Rector, kind of get a plan. But these may be in tomorrow. And if parents have two, then they'll have two.
We have graduation practice we have graduation practice on Tuesday. So it may be easiest just to distribute those to the seniors there.
That'd be awesome. Thank you. Absolutely. Absolutely. Again, thank you to the Board of Education for that. And like I said, we will have those hopefully in by tomorrow. Guys, that's all I have, unless y'all have any questions for me.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Hall.
Thank you.
Okay, with that, we'll go to item 6, adoption of the agenda. In accordance with board policy number 1.403, the Scott County Board of Education should adopt an agenda of all items to be acted upon during the regular monthly meeting of May the 14th of 2020. May I have a motion to approve the May 14th, 2020 agenda?
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Waiting on the roll call.
Mr. Stanley,
Aye.
Ms. Smith,
Aye.
Ms. Abbott,
Aye.
Mr. Sexton.
Aye.
Okay, item 7, consent agenda items. In accordance with the Scott County Board of Education policy number 4.403, the Board of Education may include routine and non-controversial items on a consent agenda, which may be adopted by a single vote without discussion. Any item on the consent agenda may be removed and placed on the regular agenda for further consideration at the request of any board member. May I have a motion to approve the items listed on the consent agenda as follows? A, approval of the previous minutes of April of 2020. B, approval of the March 2020 bills and financial report.
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion?
Who made the second?
Lou.
Lou? Okay, waiting on the roll call.
Ms. Smith,
Aye.
Mr. Stanley,
Aye.
Mr. Sexton,
Aye.
Ms. Abbott.
Aye. Item 7A, pre-K grant. The Scott County School System needs to approve the pre-K grant. May I have a motion to accept the pre-K grant for the 2020-2021 school year?
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Waiting on the roll call.
Mr. Sexton,
Aye.
Mr. Stanley,
Aye.
Ms. Abbott,
Aye.
Ms. Smith.
Aye.
Item 7B, budget amendments. Pursuant to Board Policy Number 2.201, the Scott County Board of Education needs to approve budget amendments as recommended by the Director of Schools. May I have a motion to approve the following budget amendments? 2019-2020 General Purpose Budget Amendment Number 7. Special Education IDEA Part B Amendment Number 4. Food Service Amendment Number 1. CTE Budget Amendment Number 3.
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Who was that?
As Derek.
Darren,
Okay. Waiting on the roll call.
Ms. Smith,
Aye.
Mr. Sexton,
Aye.
Mr. Stanley,
Aye.
Ms. Abbott.
Aye. Item 7C, approve application. The Scott County Board of Education needs to approve the consolidated application. May I have a motion to approve the following budget applications, grants, and authorize the superintendent director to file any necessary budget revision, addenda, or amendment requests. Consolidated application 2020-2021 E-Plan ESEA.
Motion.
Motion.
Second.
Okay, was that Diane and Lou?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, any discussion? Waiting on the roll call.
Ms. Smith,
Aye.
Mr. Stanley,
Aye.
Mr. Sexton,
Aye.
Ms. Abbott.
Aye. Item 7D, request to bid. In accordance with Scott County Board of Education Policy Number 2.806 concerning bids and quotations, all purchases of supplies, materials, equipment, and contractual services in excess of $10,000 shall be based on competitive bids. May I have a motion to request that the Scott County Finance Director bid the following: parking lot repairs, ceiling and parking space, lines painted at Scott High School and Huntsville Elementary Middle Schools.
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Waiting on the roll call.
Mr. Sexton,
Aye.
Ms. Smith,
Aye.
Ms. Abbott,
Aye.
Mr. Stanley.
Aye.
Item 7E, surplus property. Pursuant to TCA 5-21-118 and Board Policy Number 2.403, the Scott County Board of Education may declare property as surplus and authorize the Director of Finance to sell the identified surplus property at a public sale. May I have a motion to declare the following as surplus property and authorize the Finance Director to sell them at a public sale? 2004 Ford Taurus. I'm not going to read the vehicle numbers on these. An early 1990s orange Chevy truck and a late 1990s white Dodge truck.
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Waiting on the roll call.
Mr. Stanley,
Aye.
Mr. Sexton,
Aye.
Ms. Smith,
Aye.
Ms. Abbott.
Aye. Item 7F, TSBA membership dues. Approval is needed to continue the membership and pay the dues for Tennessee School Board Association. May I have a motion to approve the continuation of the TSBA membership with the Scott County Board of Education and pay the dues for the school year 2020-2021? 2021, in the amount of $5,364.
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Waiting on the roll call.
Ms. Smith,
Aye.
Mr. Sexton,
Aye.
Mr. Stanley,
Aye.
Ms. Abbott.
Aye. Item 7G, donation to Boys and Girls Club. The Boys and Girls Clubs of the Cumberland Plateau, in conjunction with the Scott County News, are respectfully asking for your support in the amount of $2,500 to cover instructional supplies and printing costs for an upcoming program to be implemented at the Boys and Girls Club in the immediate future. May I have a motion to donate $2,500 to cover instructional supplies and printing costs for an upcoming program to be implemented at the Boys and Girls Club?
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Waiting on the roll call.
Mr. Sexton,
Aye.
Mr. Stanley,
Aye.
Ms. Abbott,
Aye.
Ms. Smith.
Aye.
Okay, item 7H, renew bids. The food service director would like to renew the bids for the food and non-food items. May I have a motion to renew the following bids? Milk with Mayfield, produce, TNT, and non-food items, IWC.
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Waiting on the roll call.
Mr. Stanley,
Aye.
Ms. Smith,
Aye.
Ms. Abbott,
Aye.
Mr. Sexton.
Aye.
Item 7I, school nutrition bonus. The food service director is requesting permission to compensate school nutrition employees who have worked to prepare meals for children during the COVID-19. May I have a motion to compensate school nutrition employees who have worked to prepare meals for children during the COVID-19? If any employee has worked any day, Monday through Wednesday, beginning on April the 13th of 2020, they will receive a bonus check at the end of the school year. If an employee has worked 18 or more days, they will receive $500. If they have worked less than 18 days, they will receive $25 per day, not to exceed $500. The bonus will be paid by the school nutrition department.
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Waiting on the roll call.
Mr. Stanley,
Aye.
Ms. Smith,
Aye.
Ms. Abbott,
Aye.
Mr. Sexton.
Aye.
Item 7J, Early Childhood Grant. The Early Childhood Grant has passed at past April meeting needs to be amended from $20,000 to $10,000. May I have a motion to amend the motion that was passed on April the 16th of 2020 to accept the SPDG Early Childhood Grant from $20,000 to $10,000?
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Waiting on the roll call.
Mr. Sexton,
Aye.
Ms. Smith,
Aye.
Ms. Abbott,
Aye.
Mr. Stanley.
Aye.
Okay, before we go to item 7K, Ms. Smith, do you have anything you want to add?
I just wanted to ask, did they get enough red gowns for the graduation?
Did-
Ask
did
Ms.
they-
Director if they collected enough of the gowns for
Oh,
graduation.
yes, we had several people. I'm glad you mentioned that, Ms. Smith. I want to thank. We had several people that dropped off extras, and we were able to get everybody a gown that needed one. And we've now got a few extras in our stockpile. So thanks to everybody who did that.
Okay, that's all I have.
Okay. Derek, do you have anything you want to add?
just want to say I'm proud of everybody for their hard work during these complicated times, and just a good job to everybody, and I appreciate their hard work.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Mr. Stanley.
Everybody, good job. That's all.
Okay, with that, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Second.
Everybody for that, okay. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, waiting on the roll call.
Ms. Smith,
Aye.
Mr. Stanley,
Aye.
Ms. Sexton,
Aye.
Ms. Abbott.
Aye. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Greg.